Let's finish
church
it.
members.
Why don't you finish it?
Let's go for it.
No, I can't have any more of that.
Guys,
You go home. You go home. That's it.
It's not the fact that I'm going. No.
What's the matter? No.
That's so. I'm so good.
Let's
I'm already so
let's
high.
do another half, and all you've done is one. You gonna leave me like this? What are you scared?
I'm gonna leave you like that.
I need for you to go.
Dude, because I'm already too high.
So what? I need for you to go into that Michael Jackson zone. You know what I'm saying?
And die?
You can't die from it. You can't die from it. The only way weed can kill you is if it's shot out of a cannonball.
Let's
out of a
smoke this.
cannon.
Let's smoke this.
I'll smoke.
Let's kill this out of respect.
Out of respect.
We're gonna kill the devil. Let's kill it. You can go right home.
Jews don't believe in the devil.
Yes, they do. I love you, Bert Kreischer. Thank you very much for coming on to church. Wednesday night special edition. 20 to life, no parole. You understand me? My main man Bert Kreischer's here. The Flying Jews here. I had smoked some pot and I actually put my head back and I'm like, wow, this is fun.
I love when you get like that.
It had to be about 10 after 4 and I put my head back. And all of a sudden I heard, like, excuse me. And I look up and it's Bergie, our friend Bergie, the Armenian. He's like, what are you doing? And he proceeds to tell me a story about his brother's arm is stuck like this forever. And then he has to, his mother has to put like a pocket over here so he can keep his hand in there. But his hand is like this. And I'm like, did you get him a cape? But the funny thing was when he was telling me a story about his brother, it's like anybody else telling you a story about their family that has a disability, And at first, you want to keep it as serious as you can. But I'm going down deep with this Chibo Chudeka. I just burst out laughing in the poor guy's face. And it was so overwhelming that I burst out laughing that I almost fainted. Because I was so embarrassed that I was laughing that it lifted everything, the anxiety level.
Yeah.
But I couldn't keep it straight. And he kept going. Like, yeah, he has to keep his arm like this, and my mother made a jacket for him to stick his arm in.
I'm surprised you let him keep telling you, because usually
couldn't
when you got
tell him to
high,
stop.
Did you get a cape like he's gonna hide his face in it?
Yeah, this is the way
so
it's if my hand was permanent like this, I'd just get capes all day and walk sideways and walk that way.
Walk sideways.
You have at least one cape in your closet. I know you.
I love them.
You have a cape somewhere.
Wait, what happened to capes? When did they fall out?
When these idiots start wearing tight jeans. Capes have been around forever.
How
long you been married for?
I don't have a cape. My cape game sucks.
You get a black cape with a red interior.
I'm getting a purple cape.
Get a black cape with a red interior. If you could breathe into a cup and fog it, you could act. Okay?
So you're saying you didn't get into the character for the Marin show?
Oh yeah, you gotta get into the character and the Stanislavski. And they make a big deal. The way Angelina Jolie did that.
You've never proven yourself on stage. You've never made people laugh. It is so difficult to write something and make people laugh. I say that from experience. I've written like a bunch of shorts and shot them. To write something that seems really funny on the page, but then make it funny. There's only a handful of comics. There's only a handful of humans who can do that. Will Ferrell, it's amazing how talented he is because he can make something that he finds funny on the page hilarious in real life.
I got the longest yard. I did a bar in that time. They were trying to open up a new comedy club in Jersey City called the Rascals, and they were failing miserably. It was just a horrible location. Everything about it was horrible. I was in shock for Rascals. Do you remember the old Rascals? I mean,
No.
Jesus Christ. Never?
No.
And I remember friends of mine came, and I was at the bar, and I was very cordial, and I took pictures with all my childhood friends. I put it in the paper. I contacted, and 30 or 40 of them showed up. I could just imagine. They're people. I have a friend, a dear friend. Her brother and I grew up. She used to call me and ask me if I knew, people. And it was creepy after a while. I had to stop taking the calls.
Yeah.
Do I know Kourtney Kardashian? I think she asked me one time. That was one of the last times I took a call from her.
What do you say? You're like, yeah, we hang out all the time.
You try to be nice. The phone rings. You pick it up. You try to be nice. And all of a sudden, you're taken into this direction. Well, me and my friend went to New York because we heard she was going to be there at the Mud Club. So I'm just making this up.
Yeah.
But, this is the call I got from her like 3 or 4 times. And I'm like, you're an adult. And then she's like, can I call Ice Cube for her? Because she lived in Jersey. So Ice Cube lives in North Bergen with his wife, Coco.
My God.
So she wanted me to get Ice Cube's number to her. Ice T? Or what's
Ice-T.
Ice-T. Yeah.
Ice-T's number. Yeah, and you know me, Lee. The first 2 calls, I was okay with it, and I giggled and laughed. I'm like, okay. Yeah, I want to ask them. I want to ask him questions about Law and Order SVU. Is that real? And I was like, listen, you really got to get it together. I called my friend who gave me the number, who gave him my number, and I went off on him. Like, him and I do not talk anymore.
I have this, Joey. I have this, and I will post it on Twitter today. I have this. It is one of my favorite things ever. Isla, on her Santa Claus list, maybe like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, one was, you know, I want a Polly Pocket. I want La La Loopsies. I want Barbie Camper. Mind you, Joey, she was 6 years old. She wrote, I want proof that your gang is real to Santa. I want proof that your gang is real. And then she took a GoPro last Christmas and hid it on the mantle and started it. And I went, and I saw it. She was trying to catch Santa Claus. Started it. So I go in. I put everyone to bed. I have the video on my computer. I won't post it because until they don't believe in Santa. I go into my bedroom. I go to sleep. I don't go to sleep. I just lights out. Everyone waits. I just walk right back in. I have a white mitten on. I have the bells in my hand. I have a flashlight in my hand. I get underneath by the fireplace. I jump down and jingle the bells. Right. I flash the flashlight around. Priscilla doesn't move. She just sees it's me. Just stares. Puts her head back down. I reach my hand up with the mitten. I grab the GoPro. I turn it around, and then I turn on the lights, and I start walking around with bells and moving presents around. Then I then take that video, and I simply splice out me walking in the room, and then it just looks like the room just sat still, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Santa shows up at the end. And then the next day I go, guys, the GoPro's dead. And Isla's like, Dad, we got Santa. 30, 45 minutes. I let them watch the whole thing, and they're like, I don't see it. Fast forward. I'm like, all right, I'm fast forwarding. All of a sudden, they see Santa, and Isla's like, holy shit. They see the glove come up. They see it turn around, and Georgia starts looking at me like, mind you, I thought she'd stop believing. She started looking at me like she found Jesus. Like I don't know what to tell you guys.
Kick that mule, Lee.
We're an American man.
Great jam. And it's weird because you think, is that the one that, no, it's the other one, Black Betty. You think it's the Allman Brothers.
Oh, Black Betty's. I came on the stage to Black Betty for 4 years.
I love
that. Is such a great, I hear that and I get chills.
Now, who sings that?
Ram Jam.
Ram Jam.
They're out of Jacksonville. Or maybe they're not out of Jacksonville, but I always got that, like when you watch their, the video, they're in front of just an old redneck 2-story White House and just bell bottoms. Real simple song.
What's going on, Bert Kreischer?
I am
Syatt?
so good. I'm so happy to be here. Like Sebastian's a great comic, and comedy fans go see Sebastian. But he's not like a Sam Kinison, Dave Chappelle, Mitch Hedberg. Like, his life's really nice, and it's put together, and he does a really great act. And
what shocked me, it wasn't just Sebastian. It was Gabriel. It was Segura. It was Jim Jeffries. I mean, you have all these people, and you couldn't chop up the ticket. I really thought, I had mixed feelings. I thought that, listen, let me tell you something. Before I got into comedy, I'm going to tell you something right off the bat. This is how I thought comedy worked. The movie was sold out. You call the other movie theater, they're sold out, but you look across the street, and you walk across the street, and it's $20 to get in, a 2-drink minimum. You go in there, you don't know who the comic is. If you smoke cigarettes, it's one of those things. It became a business now.
Yeah.
Like, it's become a big-time business now. It's 2 drinks. They want to do 4 shows a night. They want to do all this stuff. So now
they got ticket surcharges where all of a sudden
they got ticket surcharges.
Jam-packed at Disney.
Really?
Everyone wants one last trip to Disney.
Come on, guys. You go a lot? You go down there?
We've gone a bunch. We've gone a bunch. We got season passes to Knott's Berry Farm, which is, I think, better in my opinion. It doesn't have the like fanfare that Disney has. Like, Disney has a little bit of a story and backstory, and if you've seen the movies, you meet the princesses. For a little girl, it's ultimate, but the girls are at an age now where they just want to ride the rides, and the rides at Knott's Berry Farms are so much better, and they serve booze. I think Disney does too, but they serve booze, and fried chicken is the best fried chicken you've ever had. They've got these Knott's Berry, the food is phenomenal at Knott's Berry Farm.
Really?
And the rides are awesome, especially for little kids. They got like a whole section of rides for little kids that you couldn't even do all the rides.
I'm not ready yet.
Yeah. How old is she?
3.5.
Yeah.
I'm not ready yet to see her on a ride swinging around.
So on some days, like middle of the week, you start at 95, and on the weekends it can start at 119.
I'll tell you what. One of the best trips I ever had to Disney. We went down there and it was sold out. It was packed, and they were like, "Yeah, we're not selling tickets." But the girls were so young they didn't know the difference between Disney and Disney, like Disney Walk. You know, like the shops outside.
Oh, right, yeah.
So we just took them to the shops, bought a couple nightgowns, had drinks, had dinner, and drove home. we just did. They were like, "That's Disney." And we're like, "Yeah, girls, enjoy."
And left the safe open. In the back, I'm walking through going, hello, like Johnny Angel. And
On your first day, and there's an open safe.
On your first day,
I opened the door, 2 things were on the trays, and there's the bags, deposit bags. And I just started putting bags, and there was the change. I put so much change on this that the jacket I had a suit jacket, was hanging off me like a scarecrow. I get out of there. I get on the bus with my girlfriend at the time.
You don't even go back to like the job?
No. There's no reason to fill out an application. It's like I told Kate Quigley. Once somebody taps that muffler, they ain't taking you out to dinner no more. It's over. From now on, you get Subway sandwich, a half. So I didn't get the job. I didn't even leave an application. Like 2 days later, they called the hotel. At the time, I was staying at the Virginian Hotel. They called the hotel and they asked me, "Joey, did you ever go for that interview?" And I go, "No, I fell asleep. I'm sorry, guys." And they go, "Well, somebody showed up and robbed the place. Are you sure it wasn't you?" And I go, "No, it wasn't me." And they go, "Yeah, nobody's seen the guy." I'm just double checking.
Yeah, like you're gonna go, "Yeah, that was me."
Oh, it was hysterical. Had a nice time this weekend. So this was a birthday gift.
Yeah, this was
And you had a nice little time together. I could tell that you came back refurbished, looking your head shaved. You're ready to rock this week.
It was. We have a good time just being together. It's. I was single for like 3 or 4 years, I think, in between college and coming out, and like I had a terrible girlfriend who was just like the worst, and not everything. Like I'm not gonna say everything's perfect. Like nothing's ever.
The church. What's happening now? Wednesday, August 23rd, 2017. Kick that muley.
Oh yeah.
This is what black people with black people. You understand? But then listen to that music. Anything could happen. Bert Kreischer, my favorite Christ killer, Syatt. That's going to be a good one. How bad of a jam is that?
That's amazing.
You know what's crazy? She didn't do it anymore live after she became a born-again Christian.
Oh, for real? Why?
Yeah. Because people start funny audience, right? You hear that song, you're like, wait a second. How about you with the Yankee hat on?
How about you with the Yankee hat on?
Bert Kreischer.
I totally thought he was Middle Eastern.
We used to get Coke. No, we used to get Coke from him. And he used to sell us Coke in a vial already. Whenever you got Coke from the Camel, if you bought an 8-ball, instead of giving you
Coke from the Camel.
Instead of giving you 3.5, he'd just give you 4 tubes and call it even. So I went over there and bought like 12 8-balls one night. I collected, I did the thing, it was 60 a piece he was giving them to me for. I would sell them for 100. He was doing me a favor in those days. In 82, if I was selling for 80, I was still making $20. And I went to my buddy's house. We opened up that kit. And me, him, and another one of us just started doing that, kicking it up. And I'll never forget waking up on his couch the next morning. There was 3 of us. Everybody was sleeping. I looked at the table, and every single Coke bottle that I had was turned upside down like an order.
Yeah.
Like bullets. And I'm like, oh my God, we smoked all that last night. At the end of the day, it just wasn't worth it.
How do you pass out when you do that much?
We were doing Quaaludes then.
Oh, is that what you do to come down?
Yeah. One time, they had a Christmas party, and I walked in, and there was a table, and they were breaking glass on the table, and they were eating glass at a party. They were nuts, and that's why I liked them.
What did they see?
They killed 100
Oh, they went hunting for bees and sprinkled and cut their heads off, or cut the stingers off, and threw them all in this. So you didn't know what they were drinking in there. They threw mesc in there, but you didn't know till you get there. I'm a pot smoker. At that time, I did a little mescaline.
Oh my God.
I had done angel dust maybe once or twice. I'm not a professional.
I love that they killed 100 bees.
They went bee hunting.
I don't even know where you find bees.
Me neither. I don't
In a
ask.
hive.
Yeah, but then how do you get them to be dead?
They killed them, and then they cut their stingers off, and they threw them into this punch. And me, Stinky, and Avillo go to this party, and I don't know nothing about nothing. They're pouring it with the ladle into your glass, and there's one guy that would come up to you. There's one guy that would come up to you and just punch in the chest every time. Ba-boom. I mean, he would just cave your chest.
Do you know that in this story, I see a punched up version of your album cover? Do you ever see, Joey's album cover of, like, all I see is like a little bit bigger version of that kid.
So, here you go.
That kid, that is my favorite picture of you, Joey.
Oh, that kid picture?
Can you pull that up real quick so I can see it?
Savage Dad?
No, the picture of me dancing.
Oh, the documentary.
Splack those hams. What did your mom say? Splack those.
Dale Hamon.
Dale Hamon.
Dale Hamon. That when there's a part of you that I don't think everyone knows about me, but before I even met you, I was on the road doing Travel Channel, and I become a fan of Rogan's podcast, and I knew Tommy, I knew Ari a little bit, I kind of knew Red Band, and I didn't know you at all, but you guys were my favorite ones to listen to, and so I would put you guys on in the bed next to me, in the bed on my iPad, and I just let it play because I had anxiety on the road, and I was like, oh, it's like my friends are in the other room, and I'm home. Although, and this sounds so crazy, but not to anyone listening, because you know what you're saying, you know what I'm saying, but like, even though I didn't even know you, I still felt like my friends were in the other room. I didn't even know Joe at the time, but I still felt like my friends were in the other room. I love that picture. That is where I get my balls from. That is my favorite. That is such a great picture.
If I tell you something, guys, let me tell you the story behind this picture. Look at the bracelet. The bracelet in those days was two of these. It was two of these.
Really?
Cut. So you see it's a double bracelet, but let me tell you the story behind this, guys. My mom grew up in this thing, and what my mom told me one time is that since they were so poor, they didn't celebrate birthdays. And it always bothered my mother. But the mother liked my grandmother believed in it, but my grandfather didn't. Because they were so poor, he couldn't give them a gift, so he wouldn't celebrate that birthday. So my mother always swore that if she ever had a family, on that kid's or daughter's birthday, she would lose her mind. My mom would work hard to wait for this. My mom's big season was from December 17th to January 7th. If I brought you to the bar from December 17th to January 7th, if you were 13 or 12, and you came in and acted cute in front of my mom would give you $50 and say, and so now you like my mom, whatever. But that's not the point.
Yeah.
The point is, every year she would hire the photographer from the New York City newspaper, the Spanish newspaper, El Diario La Prensa. And this guy would come to my mother's bar from the age of 3 that I came from Cuba. And every February 19th, that whole week, my mom would take those suits, a tailor-made.
Really?
She would tailor-make those, 2 of them. I'd have a morning party and a night party. You ready? This is what Bert Kreischer would have fell right into my family. The morning party was children under 12, children under 18. They came, there was ham, there was bocaditos, little nice sandwiches, ham, deviled ham, Cuban style, white bread.
Fuck yeah,
Lee,
I have.
that's what else I got to show you. Lee, when I show you this, you might be saying, I was going to go to Boston to visit my mother, but me and Paul are going to go to Miami now. I can't take it no more. So here's where it gets interesting.
I see the happy birthday in the back.
This is on the board.
Oh shit!
This is the daytime party. My mother's big highlight was in the daytime party there was a piñata, and when you pulled the string, it was for kids.
Yeah,
and there would be like candies and stuff, but there would also be like $20 bills for the kids.
What?
And there was an adult piñata. That's when all the kids went home, and then the parents came. I'd come out with a different suit. The parents, no, my mother was a spick.
I would love to a party with your mom.
You have no idea that I had that bracelet on by the time I was 2. Like I had a man's bracelet on when I was 2. For the adult party, she would put little aluminum foils with cocaine in them for the adults and put them in the piñata. And about 9:30, they pulled the string, and all these adults would be on the floor looking for cocaine. And she would take me and go in there. Get in there and mix it up with those and pick up all the aluminum foils that you see from mommy.
You were so funny on Rogan, and you weren't trying at all. There's a thing about your personality that it's almost like the top of the mountain when it comes to like guys like me and Segura who found our voices on podcasting. But like, you are so in the moment. You could tell a story better for the first time than I could tell a story better working on it for 4 years. Does that make sense? And I'd even say that about you. Like, you telling a story for the first time has such a genuine energy. And we were like, God, man, like, thank God a medium like this came. I'll say this for me. Thank God a medium like this came along for me.
Me too.
But me and you, and like Miss Pat, like so many people.
We would have been dead without this medium. One of my finest moments in podcasting, believe it or not, had nothing to do with me. I got a call one night that we're going to go over to Bert Kreischer's house. Bert calls me to his house. He invites me over. He's very gracious. And he goes, come over at a certain time. I'd like for you to do a podcast. At the time, I thought Bert was Johnny Professional. I get over there 20 minutes too early. He invites me into his man cave. He offers me something. We sit there. He gave me that weed that you like, the sativa from Betsy Crocker, whatever the fucking name is.
Phil Stiller.
You even bought a joint. You were very courteous. And we sat there and waited for Ralphie May. We got a call about 8:15 saying that Ralphie was coming up over the hill.
I remember you going, Bert Kreischer. He's not coming up over there.
Anyway, listen to me. It's 9 o'clock, and I go, listen, call him again and ask him where he is. So now he calls again. You call him, you call him, you call him. I go, Bert, I think that's a reality that we might as well stop this. And all of a sudden the phone rings, and Ralphie May's like, I'm stuck on Laurel Canyon. I'm just pulling up. I'm by a gas station. There's a
don't give them the whole address.
A pie place across the street. No, I'm talking about Laurel Canyon.
Yeah.
And what he's close to. And Bert directs him to where he goes. But anyway, I got there at 7:45. The podcast was supposed to start at 8. It's 10 to 10. So Ralphie comes in smoking a vapor pen. I'm sitting there with Bert. We're having a blast. It's a great podcast. We go back and forth. Finally, it's 12:30 at night. The girls are sleeping. It's time to go. We hug. We walk out. I follow Bert out. Right? I follow Bert out. I don't know nothing. I can't see at night, so I'm going to follow and lead. It's his house. But all of a sudden, I assume Ralphie's behind me. And I just hear, pa-ra-pa-pa-pa. And we both turn around in shock, and there's Ralphie laying in your daughter's dollhouse.
It
How's the dollhouse?
It was destroyed.
Dog, it was like a meteor hitting one of those Chinese villages. It was, and I remember me and Bert looked at each other and we could not laugh. Listen, you could not laugh at your friend, okay?
What are you talking about?
No. There's certain situations when you laugh at your friend, you did something stupid, they gave you Chinese instead of Italian, you know. But there's just certain times where something happens to a friend of yours and you cannot.
But that time period has passed, I guess.
Listen to me. He falls. What was it? Please, Bert.
It was beach chairs. It was beach chairs. So like the kind that you can fold up and put into a sleeve and then open up and then turn into a chair. And he fell on top of them. And literally, like, he wasn't hurt. He wasn't hurt at all.
All you heard was like, you thought there was 40 kung fu masters in the room karate chopping wood. You heard each piece of wood go down.
It looked like someone just destroyed a tent.
Oh my God.
They were all flat.
Oh my God.
And he was like, "Oh, player, what was that?" I was like, they weren't like super expensive.
That's why he went right through them.
Yeah, he went right through them. He was like, "Player, let me give you $100 for them." I was like, "Ralphie, they cost $5." But he was.
We had to pick him up.
Yeah.
That's no picnic.
He was like, "Ah, play. I'm gonna get in the car and drive home." We're like, "Ah, you sure?"
So the whole time I'm walking out with him, and I got that ball of laughter stuck. Like if it's right behind my heart. That yell I was supposed to let out. Like there was a yell when that happened at that point that I was supposed to let out that I did not let out, and I just wanted to go in my car. I just wanted to get to my car. And he kept asking me, "What are you doing tomorrow? Meet me at the country club. We'll get the kids swimming." I'm like, "Ralphie, I gotta go. I gotta go to the bathroom really bad." Listen, guys, I got in the car. That door wasn't shut 4 minutes. And I just let out laughter. It was just incomprehensible. I'm starting the car sideways.
In your college. Oh, I grew my hair out like Eddie Vedder.
So you're 44.
45.
Okay, yes, because I was in my 30s. When this came out, Alice in Chains and Soundgarden, Bad Motorfinger.
Do you remember the album Singles, the movie Singles?
Yes.
The soundtrack for Singles was amazing.
Yes.
I had a paper route. It paid $40. It was every Thursday. You had to do it for like 2 hours. We got $40. Sean Simonson passed it down to me. It was like really a coveted thing. All it took was like 4 a.m. Thursday morning, you'd pick up, you'd fill my Jetta with papers, and I'd listen to the Singles soundtrack. And you do 1 hour, you drink coffee for 1 hour, and then you smoke weed for the second hour. And then you just get back into your bed and just pass out.
You, me, and Rogan all delivered papers.
For real?
Yeah, Rogan delivered papers too.
That was a great gig. I used to love that.
I delivered newspapers door to door. Rogan used to load the truck up and then drop the papers off to the people who delivered it hand-to-hand combat.
Yeah.
And then you did the same thing.
Thrifty Nickel. That was the name of the paper.
Thrifty Nickel. Yeah. I think Rogan did the Thrifty. I did the Dispatch. I did the afternoon paper.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
That was my least favorite part about working at a CVS. Because in the mornings, if you open, you have to put the papers together.
Oh, I was trying to get skinny, so I was just like, you'd lift up the stack of papers and you hold them like you're doing your biceps, and then walk up the steps, walk back down the steps, walk up. Oh, you get insane.
I took the route that was not in my neighborhood, which only an idiot does.
Yeah,
like only an idiot takes a paper route that's not in his paper route, because once you get mugged, right? The neighborhood kids know you're not from the neighborhood, and they try to chase you. It's worse than the drug business. It was like being narcos. When I was 10, delivering papers, it was like being narcos. I swear to God, because they dropped the paper off on the bottom of 5 corners. Believe it or not, there's a place in my hometown that's got 5 or 6 corners. 6, it's impossible to believe. It's a bagel shop, a bank, a thrifty store, another refrigeration store, and another corner over here. 5 corners.
Yeah.
It's 5, and as a matter of fact, I robbed the bank in there when I was. It was a drive-through. We took it in when we were kids, but.